Why in the world you bought $20 million more of TDOC yesterday?
That outsized gain that turned Cathie Wood into one of the world's most famous proponents of active fund management is quickly evaporating.
Memo to Cathie Wood, close your fund.
Cathie, it's been said that you are in the toughest battle of your career.
Close it. Close it.
You've really become known for your contrarian views.
A lot of people have lost a lot of hard-earned money.
He's created a fund to short the ARK, and so far it's going pretty well.
Is Bitcoin a contrarian investment?
Concentrate on performance.
This is purely, they've created a whole new sector, really, speculative technology.
People can't afford to lose that amount.
We have been in a terrible bear market for innovation.
We were the first public asset manager to gain exposure to Bitcoin in 2015 when it was $250. I think today it's $44,000. And we think it's just begun.
Cathie Wood, the woman on the highway of disruptive technology, who was also named as the best stock picker of 2020. Many investors say that the way to wealth is a compounding effect of a series of consistent and strong decisions. Others lay out conditional maps to win shrewdly in the market. Some even wait for the opportune time to raise the stakes and dig out gold mines. And some have made governments go weak in the knees with their clandestine approach. Yet there are a handful of people who have gone the straight way, picked up the thrown-out ones and made for themselves a fortune and helped others along the way. This is one such story. The story of Cathie Wood. Bloomberg News named her as the best stock picker of 2020.
And Cathie Wood, she's the founder, CEO, and chief investment officer of ARK Investment, LLC.
Born in 1955, Cathie was the eldest child of Irish immigrants and was born in Los Angeles. Her father served in the Irish Army and then in the United States Air Force. He was a skilled radar systems engineer, exceedingly detail-oriented, and coached Cathie to observe connections among many things. In 1974, after graduating from Notre Dame Academy, LA, Cathie Wood joined the University of Southern California for her Bachelor's of Science degree in Finance and Economics. Wood graduated in 1981 summa cum laude. The reputed economist, Arthur Laffer, was one of her professors and turned out to be her mentor in the future. She shares that being the oldest in the family, she always felt that it was her responsibility to carry the mantle for the family, which fed a lot of anxiety for her. Every first step that she took, in college, career, at every new organization, she recalls that she, quote, approached it with a great bit of trepidation. Helped by her mentor, Arthur Laffer, at the age of 20, Wood's career started as an assistant economist in 1977 at Capital Group, where she worked for 3 years. Next, she joined Jennison Associates in New York as productive contributor for 18 years. She worked as a chief economist, portfolio manager, analyst, and managing director. While at Jennison, her childhood trait of analyzing to connect different things came in handy. She analyzed markets that differed from the way markets are analyzed these days. She noticed that many new stocks were overlooked, that when carefully foreseen, was on its way to an alarming gain, and these stocks arrived one after another. To name some, Reuters and Telerate. Everyone shoved off database publishing companies, and this caught Wood's eye. She picked the discounted stocks, and that idea of hers became the World Wide Web and the Internet. That's how Wood's rare talent to pick stocks emerged. This success gave her the boldness to think outside the box and choose in an unconventional way. It also made her appreciate innovation and its power, and its exponential growth in the long run. In 1998, she co-founded with Lulu C. Wang a hedge fund called Tupelo Capital Management, based in New York. Her next stop was AllianceBernstein as Chief Investment Officer of Global Thematic Strategies. She was responsible for $5 billion. During the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008, she came under severe criticism for poor performance. Wood said that the years leading up to that dark period were confusing and conflicting for her while doing her analysis in the monetary realm. Prices like oil and commodities were soaring high, whereas interest rates were tipping down. She said, quote, and regulators in the United States were saying, we don't think we like these exotic home equity loans and we're going to look more closely into them, end quote. Wood felt that things were very much in the shadows and categorically pulled out all housing-related risks from the portfolios. Eventually, Wood's performance was poor and was swept aside with criticism. She confessed that she felt unbelievably terrible. Meanwhile, at AllianceBernstein, she drew up a new strategy for an actively managed exchange-traded fund, based on disruptive innovation, expectant to fetch more profits. On review, AllianceBernstein considered it was too risky to invest in that. Among many other things, Wood found herself working in a closet with no room for her much-anticipated individual contribution. So, she decided to step into the unknown with all her learnings to start an investment management firm after nearly 12 years of association with AllianceBernstein. Now, the ARK Investments. At the age of 57, Wood launched her dreamboat, the ARK Investments.
I started ARK Invest for two primary reasons. One, to focus exclusively on disruptive innovation, and two, to open up a research ecosystem, really create an open source research ecosystem.
During that period, she had enrolled in the one-year Bible reading program and formulated the firm's name in regards to the Ark of the Covenant from the Bible. She shares that the company was founded out of her faith. One summer, when her 3 children had packed and were away for a 2-week camp, Wood was all alone at home. She felt the leading of her inner voice regarding disruptive innovation. In her words, it was, quote, "Look, you've been a student of disruptive innovation your entire career. Why don't you disrupt your own industry? It's broken. Why don't you disrupt it with some of these new technologies? Why don't you harness social media? Why don't you invite people in, even your competitors, to brainstorm about these new ideas?" And so I did that, and it's been amazing. It's so much better than anything I could have possibly imagined, end quote. She funded the firm by herself for the first 3 years. And it was that period assets didn't grow much. In fact, every 2 weeks, there was a significant amount that exited from her wealth. Yet she didn't deter from her vision. Wood states that while the world was investing in a safe strategy, ARK resolutely and thoughtfully associated capital to its highest and transformative technologies. In other words, ARK was encouraging new ideas that were to revolutionize the world. She has made substantial investments in Zoom Video, Tesla, Palantir, and Teladoc. The firm managed numerous exchange-traded funds and steadily exceeded everyone's expectations. It brought a high turnover with its hand-picked portfolios. Presently, it has $52 billion in combined assets under management. ARK's ETF, called the ARK Innovation ETF, has topped the markets, and it's one of its best-performing funds.
Why did we start with the active equity ETF? Why that wrapper? Well, after the 08-09 meltdown, the loss of trust in the financial services industry was such that investors wanted more transparency, and a lot of active managers had let their clients down, so the clients started moving towards more passive strategies.
The extensive knowledge accumulated and the skills imbibed through her career, which commenced at the age of 20, lessons gained from various stock market crashes, the telecom and tech burst, the hard-hit years of the recession in 2008 and 2009, all enriched her with an unfathomable depth of education in the financial market. Now, as we all know, the financial market is not just one entity, but it's the participation of diverse markets. This diversity makes the ecosystem of the financial world, everything that ranges from large asset management companies, small retail traders, prop trading desks, to fund houses. But Wood's strategy was different and unique. Her long-term investing plans are solely focused on picking disruptive innovations. Long-term trends that eventually end with continuous wealth creation was the ARK's objective. So what distinguishes ARK Management from other firms?
Today we have five platforms: DNA sequencing, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, and blockchain technology, all of which are deflationary.
ARK Investment Management chooses from diverse sectors such as energy storage, blockchain technology, gene editing, fintech, DNA sequencing, immunotherapy, IoT, electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, robotics, cloud, and 3D printing, among several others. Presently, ARK has its focus on cryptocurrencies. ARK Investments believes in the strong ethical practice of being transparent in work dealings, both its strategies and its investments. Hence, the firm periodically publishes its portfolios, business transactions, market analysis, and opinions on current and future trends. Its remarkable work culture is inclusive of many varied professionals, like computer specialists and scientists apart from financial professionals, to assist in their research and evaluate the influence and exponential growth of disruptive technologies in all forms. It employs these steps to generate long-term wealth for all its investors. With its open research ecosystem, a method that combines top-down and bottom-up research, the firm takes maximum advantage of capitalizing on every emerging innovative technology. This research strategy seeks organizations that have the potential to benefit largely from disruptive innovations. ARK Investments use an interdisciplinary investment process that gives better returns to its investors. A few of ARK's investing methods include diversification across several market sectors and categories, and thematic investing and cross-sector investment process. It strongly believes that disruptive innovation will thrive boundlessly beyond borders, sectors, and market capitalization. Firstly, diversification across several market sectors and categories. ARK diversifies its investments in all market sectors, starting from small-cap organizations to all blue-chip stocks. ARK's portfolio is a combination of high-potential companies but volatile in seasons, moderate ones that are stable, and large-cap firms with a secure potential capacity. This diversification not only balances its portfolios, but also maintains a continuous performance, yielding good returns. Even if any particular sector underperforms, ARK's capital does not drain as other participants balance its profits. Secondly, thematic investing. It identifies macro-level funds and long-term turnovers in specific markets. Identifying the converging points between industries and disruptive innovations and investing appropriately in such companies has yielded higher returns for ARK. These companies and industries benefit with whopping returns from these macro-level trends engaged in numerous disruptive technologies. Next, the cross-sector investment process method. They value each disruptive innovation that concurrently empowers different industries and sectors. This is far from the conventional way, as traditional funds primarily focus on single sectors. Adding to this, Wood vehemently makes sure that innovation is grafted into every single decision creating the firm's portfolio. What could be the reason? It sets the pace and space for the future, irrespective of culture, language, and trends. And what makes ARK distinct in its strategies? What makes Wood stand out? It is discussed that ARK takes into account the market inefficiencies that paves the way for arbitrage and generate huge returns. These are quite overlooked by conventional fund managers and investors, yet this gap proves to seep in tremendous profits.
With this 5-year investment time horizon, we have delivered north of our minimum hurdle rate of return, which is 15% over a 5-year period.
There are 4 market inefficiencies concluded by ARK's firm. Firstly, the market's short-term time horizon. ARK Investment Client Portfolio Manager Mr. Renato Leggi describes how it brings arbitrage opportunities. Quote, "The market easily can be distracted by short-term price movements, losing focus on the long-term effect of disruptive technologies. We believe there is a time arbitrage to take advantage of. ARK seeks opportunities that offer growth over 3 to 5 years that the market ignores or underestimates." End quote. So what ARK does is that it implements an early adopter strategy in the financial market and seeks to gain from the long-term trends of the innovative technology segments. Secondly, the siloization of Wall Street. ARK's concept is that innovations are never limited to a single market sector or any national or international boundaries or areas. So it employs cross-sector investing methods to have an advantage from all the rapid changes across the horizon from diverse investment areas, whereas the majority market contestants look only at the mainstream investments. Thirdly, the passive public markets. Wood's inference is that the public markets are disregarded by the investors and are inefficiently priced areas of the market, whereas they uphold the private markets more. And the last one, the closed-off research and investment mentality. ARK is determined to find opportunities in the innovative technologies sector with a complete open-mindedness, added with an in-depth understanding of the diverse markets. Taking a chance with calculated risks has helped ARK Investments go farther than any of its competitors. As of March 2021, A couple of funds initiated by Cathie Wood were highlighted in the list of 10 largest female-run funds. All the research and strategies of ARK have remarkably done well during the pandemic period.
We had a boomer of a year in 2020. COVID created a lot of problems. Innovation solves problems. We think that the innovation is explosive, and COVID gave it turbocharged, gave us many more tailwinds.
As it brought about an outstanding 170% return on its investments. Its exchange-traded funds, ARK Innovations ETF, has outperformed markets for quite some time. Since its inception, it has delivered consistently a 39% return for its investors. Cathie Wood shares what makes her firm stand out. Quote, "We're all about finding the next big thing. Those hewing to the benchmarks, which are backwards looking, are not about the future. They are about what has worked. We're all about what is going to work." To conclude, Wood being the chief investment officer, the buck stops with her. Hence, she gives the yay or the nay for any investments, assets, and approvals for investments. After nearly a 40-plus year journey in the world of finance, Wood's net worth is estimated at $250 million. Cathie has a large following on Reddit and was selected for the Forbes 50 Over 50 inaugural. She lives in Connecticut with her 3 children, and in 2018 she contributed funds to her high school, Notre Dame Academy, to start the Duddy Innovation Institute that encourages girls to learn disruptive innovation. I hope this video has refreshed your knowledge with something new. See you later with another exciting financial story.